This is Anthony Spoken Anthony. Like, comment, and subscribe. So, let's go ahead and talk about recent events. A Marine veteran just had his arm broken in a U.S. Senate hearing, and the video is going viral. The man at the center of this is Brian McGinnis, who interrupted a U.S. Senate committee hearing before the Capitol Police rushed to remove him. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I saw that video, when I watched that video, this be 100% honest with you, I felt extremely proud in a way, because not pride in the sense that a man got hurt, a U.S. veteran got hurt, who was exercising his rights as we always had. Now, I have pride in the sense that a U.S. veteran was willing to stand up and speak up, and he took bodily harm, and he's perfectly okay. Well, he's okay now. We'll get into a little bit more about that later. But what happened next is where things get controversial, because during the struggle, his arm was broken, and now people are asking whether this is justified or excessive force. Before we get into it, I want to know, what do you think? Do you believe the police use of excessive force there, or was it justified because he disrupted a hearing? Now, it wasn't just the police, though, if you really think about it. Now that I say that out loud, it was Tim Sheehy, who was also a veteran, a U.S. Navy SEAL, who overstepped and caused harm to Brian. Now, if you don't know, Brian is a U.S. Marine, because he was in his uniform when he did that, a firefighter. And what I also didn't know up until recently, that he is a Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate. Now, most people don't think about the Green Party. They normally think red and blue, Republican and Democrat. But with him standing up for his rights and how people feel about the political climate right now in the world, especially in the United States, he has pretty much guaranteed his seat for a U.S. Senate, in my opinion anyway. So I'm not going to show the video of him getting dragged out and his arm being broken. I just kind of want to go over more about the man himself, and just review a few videos I've seen on TikTok about him. Now, I did see that there are a lot of people, a lot of impersonators that are jumping on the bandwagon right now. When I first looked into him, he had like one page and then one fake page, and now there's like multiple pages. I think about 10 so far. And excuse me, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. So let's go ahead and go to TikTok. I went on the browser, and I went to his official TikTok page, actually. But first, let's look at this video.
And so
let's start over real quick.
I've got charges like assault on officers, and so I plead not guilty. I was just trying to speak.
And this is pause that right quick. The fact that he got charged for assaulting officers, and on top of that, after that happened, he was disappeared and not in public view, so nobody knew what really happened to him. So a lot of people was worried at the time. I believe this incident happened around March 4th or 5th, and it was a good like 4 days later until anybody really heard anything about him.
Truth to power.
Update about him, excuse me.
And trying to resist them stopping me from doing that, and so that's all that I was trying to do. I was just trying to resist them in enough time to speak truth to power, while our government and military leaders were describing our preparedness for further military exercises and performance. They completely left out the root of the problem, which is Israel encouraging and coercing our government to go to war for them in the Middle East.
And that was Al Jazeera. Unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of things that's going on in the world, especially in the U.S., we're very censored. And the fact that he actually said the word is and real may very well, make this video not gain any traction. But it is what it is. I still find it interesting that for some reason, as U.S. citizens, we're not able to speak our minds when it comes to any group. It doesn't matter who they are right now under Trump. But I found his original TikTok page. And actually, before we go over that right quick, let's take a quick look at his Green Party page. McGinnis, U.S. Senate. Let's see here. Is that a bruise on his head? Maybe not. Let's see. So for North Carolina, so if you're in North Carolina and you agree with what he said, it's getting to the point where we cannot sit here and support anything that is red and blue anymore because it's all the same thing. We need something different. We need green. We need purple. We need orange. We need whatever colors of the rainbow. The U.S. Senate shouldn't be a makeup of red and purple. In my opinion, the U.S. Senate should be essentially a rainbow of different parties, beliefs that fight for the best interests of the American people, the state and counties and cities and what boroughs, wherever you want to say that they're trying to fight for the best of us, not this two parties that could be bought up really easily, and that has different and whose convictions are not very solid that will fold easily. And that's just my opinion. I think that's how America will be great and successful again. Term limits and everything that goes along with it. But back to his TikTok page. Oh, that's not his. That was one of the fake pages I found. Let me see. His TikTok page right here. I just went ahead and clicked on some of his oldest videos, right? And he always spoke about this kind of stuff. Let me scroll past this kid. I'm not going to show that, but let's go right here.
Hey, Facebook family and friends, just calling to tell you I'm not crazy, and I'm trying to reassure y'all that I'm really good. I don't have any hair anymore because of immuno disorder, got alopecia hardcore. So if anybody wonders where my hair went, my eyebrows went, it's just that's what happened there. And I know I've been going postal with the Palestine-Israel conflict. It's because my wife's Palestinian. I have insight on this. I know the suffrage that Palestinians have been experiencing, and I see zero coverage or knowledge about that here in America. And I get that because that's who I was. I didn't know what Palestine was. I was watching the Olympics with my friend Dina, my wife's cousin, and we were watching the Olympics and
you know, a lot of the things that happen here in America are a lot of the beliefs we have because we're not around those people. We tend to hang around people that make us comfortable. And when we do that, we don't grow. We kind of stay in this small little box and we don't look for a way to escape because we're comfortable within our box. Our box has enough room for us to spread our arms around, maybe walk around in a few circles or whatever. And you know, it's just our boss. It's comfortable. But whenever somebody kind of knocks on the door to try to, or just break down the walls of the box or anything along those lines, it makes people scared. When you have somebody that's knocking really hard, it's like, hey, there's, rain, there's waterfalls, there's all this other kind of stuff. Let's come out and explore. There's a new color out there. Let's go take a look at it. Anything that's different that we don't understand, a lot of the times, I won't say we, but a lot of the people, what they'll do is they will sit here and they will mock it, criticize it, make fun of it, belittle it, be afraid of it, try to damage it, destroy it, anything that does not fit into their worldview. And I was lucky enough that I surrounded myself around people that was very different, vastly different than myself. Because I want to be a very well-rounded, understanding person. But let's go ahead and continue.
The parade of champions came through and Pakistan went through, and I was like, look, it's your country. And she was like, that's Pakistan or Palestine. So I was so ignorant to any of this. I'm from Illinois, like my friends from Quincy, and I don't know if we have a lot of international knowledge about things. And I know Israel is aligned with Christianity.
And if you're not familiar with Quincy, Illinois is a small city or maybe a town, depending. I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time, but it's outside of a military base, not too far from Chicago.
And God's chosen people, and a lot of people like me, a lot of Christians understand the Bibles and understand
So if you just joined us, we're breaking down the confrontation between the Marine veteran Brian McGinnis and the Senator Tim Sheehy that ended with McGinnis getting his arm broken during the Senate hearing. So if you have any opinions or comment, please go ahead and leave them. I'll let it have a discussion about this.
Overwhelming way that, you know, Christians are aligned with Israel, and Israel is God's chosen people, and we should side with them and just hear them unquestionably. But I've learned that that's not true, and Jews do not.
Okay, and let's see. And he kind of goes on about this. So again, that was one of his oldest videos. When was that posted again?
Hey, Facebook
That was
family and
back
friends,
on
just calling to tell you
November
I'm
the
not
11th,
crazy.
2023. So he always held these beliefs. He's always thought about these kind of things. And what he's saying initially is not bad. All he's really saying at its core is we got to put America first and make sure we're not fighting other people's battles. And I think no matter what side of the aisle you on, how you feel about people in general that live here, that live here, that are born here, that are naturalized here, I think they should be placed first above anybody. I never understood the whole entire supporting of allies across the world. And not this is in rail, this other countries too. I can understand of countries that we may have caused serious damage to during the war, like Japan, when we supposedly dropped that nuclear bomb or atomic bomb. I can understand us sending support and aid there because we caused a catastrophic event that damaged their people for generations. And Japan has bounced back incredibly well. But for countries that we have nothing to do with, it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not going to get into that and why I think the things are going the way they are, right? But what I will say is that this man right here, Brian McGinnis, is a very good, a much needed breath of fresh air. And I hope he does make it to the Senate. I hope he's that voice of change. I hope he's part of the spark that's needed for people to wake up. It's not un-American to disagree. It's un-American to fall in line. And we can have disagreements in a respectful way and learn from each other and grow from each other. I think that's all we really need is learn how to disagree with each other in a respectful way so we continue to grow as a nation. Anyways, you guys tell me what you think. And I hope you guys have a great night. This is my first video back in a while. I feel like right now March is really the new year, the time of spring. Unfortunately, the new year causes, sickness. So I'm starting to lose my voice right now. But I'm going to start posting again more frequently. I had to not necessarily take a mental break. I had to refocus my life. And what I mean by that is that I had to question how I was living my life as far as health-wise. And I had to make some changes with that because, once you hit 40, you got to start taking your health a lot more seriously. So I had to make really strides in that area. But that's a personal thing. I'll talk more about that when I go live later on. Maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow, but which would be just a personal topic to me. Hope you guys will tune in. But if not, that's just a brief summary of it. You guys have a great night. Thank you for watching. If you still are watching so far, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.